Hello everybody. So it's a special day today here at one of the most exceptional homes, sensational places here on the outskirts of Paris, which used to belong to one of the most exciting and infamous women in French history, the last mistress, the chief mistress of King Louis XV, Jeanne du Barry. And so it is perhaps here that the latest Johnny Depp film depicting the love between her and the king should have been filmed. Now, her upbringing is a little bit nebulous, as she was born to a seamstress and an unidentified father, possibly a friar, and she spent her early years in a convent. And then, as a teenager, she made a small living by selling trinkets in the streets of Paris. Shortly thereafter, she found a slightly better job with a young hairdresser with whom she had a brief relationship, although one might imagine that perhaps he never forgot her. And then her first brush with society came when she was hired by an elderly widow, Madame de la Garde, to be a sort of chambermaid, but a job from which she was quickly fired because she drew a little bit too much attention from the widow's already married 2 sons. But, of course, it wasn't long until she had other lovers, ministers and diplomats, and in 1768 she made her way to Versailles, where she caught the eye of the king himself. But because of her modest origins and her unmarried status, she was ineligible to be his official mistress, so papers were forged and a marriage with the nobleman was arranged. And then she was installed in some small rooms, conveniently above the king's apartment. However, she couldn't really be seen with him in public because she had yet to be officially presented in court, and for that they needed a sponsor, a role to which practically no one wanted to stoop, but they found a sponsor in Madame du Béarn, who accepted the job in exchange for a sort of bribe which would cover her enormous gambling debts. And so, with those formalities complete, a few years later, in 1771, the pavilion was built for her here by the celebrated architect Claude Nicolas Ledoux in this Grecian style like an antique temple.